So in this video, I want to discuss growth versus income and figuring out which phase of life you're in. Now, before I got into real estate investing, and before I became an investor myself, I was in college and I actually had a degree in financial planning. I have actually all the educational requirements to sit for the CFP exam or Certified Financial Planner. However, I never went down that route. I did get bit by the real estate bug and went down this route, but that CFP education has been so instrumental in me dissecting the real estate wealth formula and being able to understand it, explain it, but most importantly, go out there and execute it so people can get the right returns and the right investments to meet their goals. Now, going back to traditional traditional financial planning and stock and bond investing, people are generally like in growth investing or more in income phase. And generally speaking, growth is a high stock allocation, 80, 90, 100% stock allocation. And when people are younger, they're in more growth mode because they want more future income and can ride the market cycles of stock investing. And usually as people get older, they want less risk and they want more income. So they shift to more like, bonds, less stocks, or bonds and, high paying dividend stocks to get income. Now, it's very rare in the stock world where you get like high growth and high income. You usually kind of get one or the other, and that's usually how investing happens. Same thing in real estate is you can usually get high growth or high income. It's hard to have your cake and eat it too. And I'll go through numbers of that in a second. But I want to stop and just kind of go back and revisit this concept and ask you, what phase of your real estate investing career are you in? Are you in growth mode or are you in income mode? I'm in growth mode right now, and the vast majority of my clients are in growth mode as well. There are people, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s looking to continue to grow out there. And I have another subset of clients who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they're more in the income mode or going towards that. No right or wrong. It all comes down to your risk tolerance, where you're at in life, how much you need, how much you want, all of that. But I want to reference this concept with you because it's so important because, income in real estate is often cash flow and growth is often like, equity build or appreciation. And it all comes down to, hey, what's important to you and how can we use it to get you the right returns? So I'm going back to my Property Llama account here, and I've got that same condo I've pulled up here, that condo I sold in Reno in 2018. And this is, the only property in this portfolio, but from a high level, what I come down to is I look at NOI. Now, NOI is a term you may or may not know. It stands for net operating income. And don't worry about that, just remember NOI. And basically what that means is I'm going to go into detailed view here. NOI is actually your rent minus all of your operating expenses before you take out any loan payment. So that's this example right here. Here's my rent at $1,300. Here's all my non-mortgage expenses, and I'm left with $655 a month. Now, once that property is paid off, I'm going to be getting $655 a month, or if I paid it off today. So I look at NOI as my future retirement cash flow, and that's when I've paid off all my properties. Because if you go back, and I've done this, I've done hundreds of modelings of this. If you look at the most efficient way to get your cash flow goal or your income goal, it's to go high growth, high growth, high growth. And so you keep buying properties, you keep re-leveraging properties by either refinancing and buying or selling and doing a 1031 trade-up. You go out there and keep in growth mode to keep like high growth until you hit your NOI number. And so in my case, or a lot of people's cases, they want $10,000 a month in NOI or $120,000 a year. So going in growth mode until you hit your NOI is often the fastest way to get there. Now, again, I want to keep it conceptual. I don't want to get into all like nitty-gritty underwriting details, but I want you to understand that most people are either in growth mode or income mode. And so the way I look at this right now, here is probably another $1 million question. This literally might be $1 million question I'm asking you right now is, look at your portfolio, look at your properties, and you may be starting at 0, you may be at 1, you may be at 10, you may be at 20. Wherever you're at, that's fine. I don't care. We're all different phases in our journey. I just want you to get your properties plugged into Property Llama if you have them, and then figure out what is your NOI, because that is the number that if you paid off all your debt, that's the cash flow you'll be having. Now, from a very, very simplistic standpoint, if I want $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year, once I get this number above $120,000, then I have the option, the realistic option, to go into debt paydown mode and actually achieve my goal of $10,000 a month. But in this case, if I don't have $120,000 a year in net operating income, what does that tell me? Or what does that tell you? It tells you I need to go out there and buy more properties. Just like I said, I needed 14.2 more condos to achieve my goals. I need to go out there and buy more properties to increase my NOI. And the two main ways to go out there, two main ways for investors to go out there to get properties is to save up money and go invest it to buy a property, 25% down payment, or to tap in their equity, like I did in the previous video, and either refinance it to pull out some money or sell it and take the equity and go reinvest in the property. And this is this comparison screen I showed you earlier in that previous ROE video about selling my condo and buying my red hotel or my fourplex here in Denver. And so for most people, it's easier to tap in their equity because they have more equity than do have cash sitting around. And so again, don't worry about all this. I just want to start kind of connecting high level dots here and getting you some conceptual stuff. And so what we're going to do here in the next video, or next section of the module, we'll actually start going through my portfolio and some common portfolios to show you how this works, and not just go from like a single property example, but actually go from like a multi-property example to start playing with some numbers on here. But again, most importantly, I want you to watch and start learning, but then plug in your properties in a Property Llama, and then sit down with your real estate coach and go through a portfolio analysis to start understanding these numbers and play around with it yourself. Now, if you don't have any properties, just keep learning. Feel free to go in there, get a mock portfolio from your coach. Or in the 1 or 2 sections after this, we'll start going to all the strategies on how to go out there and buy properties. Some are creative with little or zero money down. Some are using these techniques, but just the whole gamut. So if you're brand new, keep learning this because we are starting with the end in mind and working backwards. All right. I am so thrilled to be part of this journey with you. If you have any questions, please let your coach know, let your mastermind know, and I would love to sit down and talk to you about this because these concepts, the return equity, working towards your NOI or net operating income, these are the key concepts that really change people's retirement pictures.